Chris Denari joining us, Justin Schutte, on this Thursday. Like I said, Chris, how are you, sir? Is growing a little beard? I thought I saw it. I was like, man, I went and saw my daughter last night before she leaves for. Well, I'm going to be helping my guess moves back down to Ole Miss next weekend. So I shaved because she can't stand that bearded face. So for the first time in like 2 weeks, I shaved, even though I kept it trim. But you see, you got it going on there, man.
Yeah, I shaved last weekend, one of the days for the races at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And then I said, hey, I'm on radio, and then I just haven't shaved all week. So my grandson yesterday was pulling at this gray and white beard. But no, I've always said you get a better shave, right? You let it grow out a little bit and then you get a better shave. So
the best shave of your life, I can guarantee you.
Yeah, I know my wife is not a huge fan of it. So
no, I can guarantee you where you can get the best shave you've ever had in your life. Have you ever gone into a steam room and shaved in a steam room?
I have not, but I think you're right. That would be just moisture the skin, right?
It's crazy. I used to go to one of the YMCA's where I was at the time as a member, and that was the thing. Half the people in there, they'd go in there, sit in the steam room forever, but also shave because it opens up the pores. You don't even you use nothing. You just take the razor in and you straight raw shave, and it is the smoothest, most unbelievable shave you've ever had in your life. You come out of there like you've never had a whisker.
What do you think, Justin?
I'm telling you, it's nuts. It blows your mind. No shaving cream. You just use the sweat, and because how it's opens up, it's mind-boggling.
I'm not going into any steam room or any sauna with a bunch of men's hair all over the ground on any bench.
It's not on the ground. You put it on your towel, man.
I'm not even a germaphobe, but that sounds not fun to me.
You use your own towel. You just kind of tap it out. It's not. You're not going in there with a Abe Lincoln beard either.
I'm glad to see, though, Chris, you survived the descent from your perch in turn 2.
You know what?
Yeah,
we didn't get a picture.
I know. Somehow, let's see.
Surely you took one.
Yeah, I mean, can I hold? You
can hold it up or text it to John. Either way.
I don't know if this will work, but
if not, we'll have you text it to John. He'll put it up. But I'm gonna have you text it to John.
All right.
And but what'd you think about the race?
The first day, the race, the Xfinity race and the IndyCar race, the leader got out and unless you have a restart, it wasn't all that exciting. It wasn't bad. I thought on Sunday for the Cup race, the restarts helped make it interesting because
interesting is a word that could probably be changed out with a lot of different words, I'd say.
But I think the one thing on the road course, I like that there are opportunities to pass. There were some opportunities in front of me in turns 10 and 11 leading to 12, which is the short chute on the south side, so on the oval. But I think what happened, it was interesting. They had 4 spins trying to go into turn 1 very early. It resulted in no yellows. I mean, that's sort of the beauty of the road course is you can have local yellows, and then when those cars are able to refire, it doesn't create a yellow like it would on the oval. So you had some of those issues early, but I thought for the most part the racing was pretty good, especially on Sunday late in those final 30 to 40 laps.
Now, some of those drivers, Chris, after the race, some of the older drivers, you had Denny Hamlin, I think, Brad Keselowski, maybe Kevin Harvick. Some of those guys took to social media and basically said, bring back the oval. I know that NASCAR's made a bigger push to have some of these road courses to kind of get away from it's just a bunch of left turns stigma. Do you think that Indianapolis should return to that oval, or do you enjoy the road course? Because it seems to get mixed reviews.
Yeah, I think what's going to be interesting is they talk about the next generation car, and I don't really want to go into detail about it because I don't know all that much about it. But I have heard that, from people that I know, people on the Performance Racing Network that I talked to over the weekend, that they feel that this car will be more adaptable to a flatter track or the oval at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway than the older car would be. Roger Penske addressed the media over the weekend and said next year in 2023, they will be back on the road course, but he sees the opportunity for the Cup cars to be back on the oval. Now, what they could do is they could go alternate years, odd years on the road course, even years on the oval, and break it up like that. So it'll be interesting to see. I mean, the problem is the old Cup car just didn't align itself very well with the Indianapolis Motor Speedway because it's not high banked. It's not a short track. But to your point, Dustin, I do think NASCAR, especially on the Cup side, they've had some good success with those road courses this year. With COTA, they go to Watkins Glen. They're racing at Road America. So I think you're right. They added the dirt race at Bristol. They're trying to give these drivers more opportunities to do different things each week, so it's not the same cookie cutter race each and every week.
I want to talk about the restarts. They were interesting and it was fun for a minute, but then it became absolute stupidity.
Chaos. Yeah,
it becomes stupidity when you see them fanning out. At one point, I think they counted 7 wide, which is fine, except for that's too wide. There's only 2 cars going through there by the time you get there.
Yeah,
and they just went plowing into it. And the couple of drivers talked about it, said, hey, it just comes down to a complete lack of respect by some of these drivers now of how they drive, which I agree. And then the deal with Ross Chastain, he seems to always be involved in something, which you got to love, but he got penalized, but really shouldn't have been because they had done that in the Xfinity race. They had done it in other races with the runoff deal, and there was never a penalty. But they penalized him. And that's another thing. NASCAR, it's like, they kind of make up the rules as they go along sometimes.
Well, it was interesting, and that happened on the clear other end of the track. So I saw it on a replay situation. I had to be alert because I pay attention. I have a big screen in front of me, so I watch the restart. I'm listening. In this case, it was Pat Patterson. He had turns 1 through 5, 1 through 6, and then Nick Yeoman has him on Holman Boulevard into the S's. So I've got to pay attention to those guys and listen to them, who's in the lead. And then all of a sudden, Ross Chastain, who I knew had gone off the track, all of a sudden he's in the lead or he's in second, with Tyler Reddick. And that you're trying to process this to know what's going to happen. I think it was good for NASCAR from the standpoint that Tyler Reddick ended up winning, that Ross Chastain didn't win, because that would have thrown a whole nother bit of craziness into it. They had already gone the week before where Denny Hamlin was disqualified. In fact, number 1 and number 2 was disqualified, and then Chase Elliott was declared the winner. So would have been really difficult to declare a new winner 2 weeks in a row. But that's the thing with the road courses and the runoffs and those types of things. If you get knocked off the track, your only option is to go through the grass. Now, I guess they felt that Chastain took a shortcut. I think that's why they added the 30 seconds to his time, and he went from 2nd to 27th. But that's a call, I guess, that they have to make at the time. But they didn't. But the day before, there were other drivers on lap 32 that did the same thing, and there was no penalty. So I guess you could say it's something like a basketball game or a football game. Do you make the same call in the first quarter that you make in the fourth quarter? I mean, those are, I guess, obvious questions that you would ask.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. except for that, became just sheer craziness because Chase Briscoe kind of got screwed out of that deal last year where he got forced into the grass, which, I mean, he was forced into the grass. There's no place else for him to go. What's he supposed to do? And they end up penalizing him. It's like somebody knocking you. It's like being on a basketball court and you having the ball dribbling up the court and a guy just coming up and pushing you out of bounds and they call you for out of bounds. You're like, wait a minute, what the hell?
Well, I mean, that's where it becomes subjective, right? I mean, to your point, I mean, how many times in a basketball game does an official miss a call that you disagree with because it happened against your team? And I guess that's the situation in this. Somebody's not going to like the call that NASCAR made, and that's how it happened.